You weren't hurt. Come on, get up.
Look at this album cover. What does it make you feel? Unsettled? Disturbed? Inspired? Elated? Well, now look into this creature's eyes. What could this funny little fella possibly be thinking about? What kind of secrets might he hold behind his sly little mischievous smile?
People are saying my pronunciation is off in one of my recent videos.
Number 12, mischievous dog. Dogs can be quite mischievous.
I'm pretty sure that's how you say mischievous, though.
Goodness.
Or, more importantly, what kind of music might be behind this weird-ass album art? Jazz fusion. It's always jazz fusion. If I'm reviewing an album with a Japanese name on it from the 70s, you can, feel free to bet on it being jazz fusion. Welcome to Hiroshi Murakami and Dancing Sphinx's aptly titled Dancing Sphinx. My name is Cracksmoker96, and today I'm going to briefly review this little album. You might have seen it on the Zerf XPEC channel back before it was deleted. Now it is on his new channel, X Archive. But also, it must be known that I do not support music piracy or any sort of digital media piracy, so whatever you do, don't go and subscribe to X Music Archive.
Hey, come look at the site.
Oh, cool. Can you download the Foo Fighters?
Yeah. Hold on. What did I do?
You know it's illegal to download copyrighted music. I'm taking you in.
Pay for music, never legally download.
Now, despite most people's initial response to the album art being, a bit of fear, a bit of uncanniness, the album itself actually contains very few dark energies, atmospheres, or vibrations. It's actually more of like an atmospheric album with a heavy emphasis on brass solo sections, accompanied by some light keyboard riffs. I can safely say that I no longer fear the Sphinx. Where I initially thought its smile was one of malice, I now see that it is an inviting smile. It seems to know something that you don't, and the music itself is a reflection of the adventure that he might take you on. This is the smile your friend gives you when you're about to try an edible for the first time. It's like he knows what you're in for more so than you do, and your response is one of curiosity intermixed with a bit of uneasiness. But then again, maybe I'm taking it too seriously and the skin cow's just meant to look funny. Who knows? Alright, so the first song, it eases you in with some funk. You're kinda hyped, you're excited even, and you're overall vibing, for lack of a better term. The second song is sort of a creeping uneasiness into the experience, and, as a whole, it's not necessarily negative or scary, it's just kind of strange and unfamiliar, as compared to the comfortable funk from the first song. Yeah, and then the third song just goes straight back into the funk, and that's like pretty much the motif for the rest of the album. With the exception of the fifth song, which starts off with some pipe organ and a long guitar melody. To be honest, the fifth song seemed really out of place for me. I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like it kind of broke the vibe we had going on, like that sesh that we were having with Dancing Sphinx and Hiroshi Murakami. It felt like it interrupted it with a thought of, oh, my grandma died last week, like that kind of thing. So, I appreciated its sort of avant-garde nature and how out there it was compared to the rest of the songs, but overall, for the motif of this being a funk album, I don't know, man. I don't know. So yeah, basically, overall, this album has a lot of funk elements, and really, it's not super esoteric or deep. And although saying this deviates significantly from the norm for me, I really don't think it needed some kind of deeper meaning. See, look. Alright, let's count off our bullet points here. Number 1. It's pretty well made. Number 2. It's got a funny little fella on the cover. And number 3. The music and the beeps and boops make my brain feel good. It's not it's not exactly an insane experience. It's not the kind of thing that would like make me rant and rave for 40 minutes about the nature of man and how this one artist figured out the deep and esoteric subliminal messages of the human unconscious mind. But, you know, it's the kind of thing that I'll listen to, like, while I'm working on shit and playing RuneScape at the same time. It's definitely good for that. So, overall, on the epic music rating scale that is 100 times better than the Grammys, I'm going to give this little guy probably like a 7.2 out of 10. I mean, it's good shit. Like I've said, it's really well made. But it's kind of missing like this extra layer that I feel like a lot of other 70s Japanese jazz, funk, fusion, whatever albums have, you know? Like, I'm not saying like an insane kind of like style of instrumentation or like a continuous plot line or like some kind of deeper meaning. I'm not saying any of that at all. I'm just saying I feel like this album might rely a little bit too much on the quirkiness of its album cover. I feel like it's meant to be shocking and that's what's meant to draw you in. Whereas other albums, their draw is more so the music itself. You know, basically, what I'm trying to say here is, the artists were talented, and I feel like as a project, this had a lot of potential. And while I wouldn't say that the potential was completely wasted, because, you know, it's a pretty good album, I just don't think the wacky, quirky cover art makes up for what it could have been. It's basically like clickbait, you know? You would expect something with this album art to be a little crazier, a little wackier, a little wilder, but instead you just kind of get like, you know, the 70s Japanese funk kind of vibe, which is, you know, that's cool. But if you go have an album covered like this, you're gonna have to bust out with something crazier, you feel me? But yeah, that's it. If you like this video right now, I'm going to give you a Ford F-150. I'm literally going to deliver it to your house right now. It's only got 40,000 miles. And I've only smoked like 2 cigarettes in there, so you can get the smell out real easy. And yeah, I'll throw in a car air freshener too, frick it. So like the video, subscribe, and suck my nuts. And as always,
subscribe to make me feel better about my regrets.
Alright, and as always, I'd like to give a special thank you and a special shout out to my Patreons over at patreon.com. Alright, so for our connoisseurs of fine art, we've got Willow Sushi, Walter, Thick Melon, Sad Femme, Rebecca, Prisoner Suicide, Mitkit, Misos Al Pinks, Lurker of the Gloom, Kim, Cumcumber26, Conscious Junk, and Chairfruit. For our pseudo-intellectual supporters, we've got that little green dog man, that funny little fella, Saws. Then we've got the homie Maroney. And then we've got the one and only Zucchini. And for our one and only aficionado of degeneracy, as always, we've got Alec. Thank you so much for Patreoning me, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are helping pay my college tuition. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, or else I will have nothing to live for. Hope you have a good day.